Hey guys, thanks for joining me on So Learn to Play Games. My name is Lance, and today we're taking a look at a brand new game called Shobu. This is a game by Smirk and Laughter Games, which is a division of Smirk and Dagger. This is a two-player game that takes roughly 20 to 30 minutes to play, and it is a competitive game, so each player is working against the other player to be the first to push 4 stones off of one of the 4 boards that they're playing on. So in the game itself, each player is going to be taking a turn, and it's going to bounce from player to player, taking turns. During a player's turn, they will make a passive move and an aggressive move. From there, that it'll pass back to the other player, and the players are going to continue doing this until one of the players is able to push 4 stones off of one of the 4 boards of their opponents. So my opinions on this one, I had a blast with this one. This is one that I found at Origins this year and really had a good time with. It's very simple as far as the rules are concerned, but there's a lot of depth and strategy. So if you like abstract strategy games, this is definitely one I would recommend taking a look at. I just had a blast with it, and I've played it a couple times with my friends. I had a chance to go head-to-head against my wife. Ended up beating her, but it was a long, drawn-out game. She is one that is not willing to give up very easily, so she was thinking about every possible move, and it was a really cool, fun game to play. So I would definitely recommend checking this one out. And of course, these are just my opinions. Let me know in the comments below if this is one that you're looking at, if you've picked up, and your experiences on this as well. I'd love to hear from you guys, as always, and if you enjoy these videos, if you like what I do, please consider that like button and subscribing to my channel, as it really does make a big difference. It helps me to continue to grow and be able to bring these videos to you guys. If you want to stay up to date on all my videos, also consider ringing that bell so you get notifications anytime I release new content. I'm also going to have a couple of cards up in the corners of the video as well if you want to check out some of the other games that just came out from Smirk and Dagger Games as well. So let's head to the table, and I'll teach you guys how to play. For setup, the first thing you're going to do is place the cotton cord between the 2 players that are sitting opposite each other. From there, then you can go ahead and grab the boards themselves, and each player is going to receive a white board and a dark board. Each of the players, the boards that are sitting in front of them, are considered their home boards, and then each player is going to choose which color stone that they want to be. So we'll have the black stones on this side and the white stones on the top side. From here, we're ready to begin the game. Shobu is an abstract game that is going to be played over an undefined number of turns. The turns are going to alternate with one player going and then the other player going, and this will continue going back and forth between the players until one player is able to eliminate all of the stones of the other player off of one of the 4 boards. Moving into the game, the player that has chosen the black stones will be the first player to start the game, and each player's turn is going to be broken into 2 steps, the passive step and the aggressive step. So let's start with the passive step. The player is going to choose one of their 2 home boards and choose one of the stones on there to move. And they can move this up to 2 spaces, moving in any direction that they want to, as long as they don't push another stone, and they cannot move through other stones, including their own color or the opponents that they're playing. So as you can see in this diagram, it gives you a lot of different options. And if we look at another example of it, this stone here, we could move diagonal 2 spaces this way. We can move it diagonal 1 space that way, move it forward 2 spaces, or 1 space. It is our decision. And again, as long as we follow those guidelines. So we could not push the stone in this direction. And if we had a white stone here, we could not move it in this direction, pushing that stone, as our passive move is not allowed to push another stone. And again, it must be done on one of the 2 home boards. Once our player has completed their passive move, then they're ready to move on to the second part of their turn, which is the aggressive move. With the aggressive move, they're going to mimic the same move that they did for their passive move, moving the same number of spaces and direction with another stone on one of the opposite colored boards. So for example, let's go ahead and say that we move this stone 2 spaces diagonally in that direction. Now, once we have done that as our passive move, so moving over to our aggressive move, we have to do the same thing on one of the 2 light colored boards as we did this passive move on the dark colored board. So again, we can choose any of the stones that we want to, that we're able to move, and we must move it that same number of spaces and directions. So for example, with this stone, we could not choose it, as we can only move it 1 space, and you cannot move a stone off the board in that manner of your own. Now you can use this move, the aggressive move can push a enemy's stone or an opponent's stone. So let's say that this one was here. And so we did the 2 spaces there, so we can move this one 2 spaces, pushing this stone off the board and eliminating that stone from the board. There is a couple exceptions to this, of course. Let's go ahead and say that our opponent was there and we had chosen to move our stone 2 spaces. We cannot choose this one as you cannot push a stone that is in front of another stone. And again, same thing with this, we could not push it this direction as it is being blocked by the stone behind it. So it must be a free space. But let's go ahead and say that we had a situation like this. We could move this 2, and then as our second action for our aggressive move, we could move that stone 2 spaces to knock this stone off. And again, you will choose which board you want to do that on. So again, if we follow that first example, we could choose another stone to move 2 spaces, going the same direction and same number of spaces. The one other important note with the aggressive moves is that you do not have to push an opponent's stone during that move. You can simply use it to set up for later moves as well. So again, if we move this one here, we could choose to move another stone in that manner, protecting the stone behind it and making sure that that stone can't be pushed in that direction. And it's just setting it up for later turns. So again, you do not have to push with an aggressive move. Once the player has completed both their passive and aggressive moves, then it's going to pass to their opponent to do the same thing. And this is going to continue bouncing back and forth with each player taking a turn until one player is able to eliminate all 4 stones of his opponents on one of the 4 boards. I'm going to show you a few turns in action so you can see how everything works. So we'll start with our black stone player to begin. Moving over to our white stone player. Back to our black stone player. Over to the white stone player. And back to the black stone player. Then to our white stone player to go. And back to our black stone player. Over to white stone, and back to black stone, over to white, and back to black. And this will continue going back and forth with the players until one of the players is able to eliminate all of the other players' stones on one of the boards. So it can be any board, it doesn't matter which one, as long as one of the boards has none of the other players' stones on them, that player is the winner.